Hi, hey Professor, Jared here, and the title of my project slash paper is The Power of Belief. So for my project, I did the first option, and I worked with my roommate Caleb. And basically what happened was, right before we talked about the project in class, I went to the gym with Caleb. I like to train year round, whether it's running or powerlifting, and I played multiple sports in high school, so I try to keep up with those if I can. So we went to the gym together and we were working out, we were benching, and he became very frustrated within 2 sets of the workout. Not even working sets, just warm up sets. um, and he was very upset with himself and became very hard. He wanted to leave. And he said he'd never reach his goals. So he basically threw a mini temper tantrum in the gym. And then once we talked about this in class, this opportunity, I realized I wanted to help him because he got so down on himself. I wanted to be able to help him set good goals and stay positive and stay on a plan. So once we had the class, I asked him if he wanted to do this, and then now I'm here. So the purpose of my intervention was to help my friend learn how to set proper goals and positively self-talk himself to motivate himself. I chose these two mental skills because Caleb needed them the most. He never really set goals prior to this, and he always became discouraged very easily. Also prior to this, I had gone to a couple of his basketball games, and he never really handled bad calls very well. And if he had a bad game, he would play really, really bad. So that's another reason why, self-talk I think is very important for him, be able to self-motivate himself and get his mind right before the game and then during the game. So for goal setting, I have a quote for it. Top level athletes, successful business people, and achievers in all fields all set goals. Setting goals gives you long-term vision and short-term motivation. It focuses your acquisition of knowledge and helps you to organize your time, your resources, so that you can make the most of your life. By setting sharp, clearly defined goals, you can measure and take pride in achievements of these goals. And you'll see forward progress in what you might previously have seemed a long, pointless grind. You will also raise your self-confidence as you recognize your own ability and competence in achieving the goals that you set. So for Caleb, I think goal setting is very important for him because it gives him a plan and it gives him confidence. I know for myself, from running cross country, it gave me a lot of confidence because I set goals for myself and then I achieved those goals and then even went above them. So that's given me confidence today. So for Caleb, my strategy was I would give him performance, process, and outcome goals. I literally ask him, well, what's your outcome goal? What do you want? We have 8 weeks until I have to present. What do you want to achieve in those 8 weeks? And he said, well, you know what? I want to improve my bench press. I want to improve my squat. I want to become more explosive. I play football. I want to break more tackles. I play basketball. I'm a stretch forward, only averages 4 rebounds a game. I want to double that. And I want to become just generally stronger and better shape. I said, okay, cool. So the outcome goal is stronger, more explosive, better your sports. I said, okay, let's write down some performance and process goals. So with performance, I was like, okay, what levels do you need to achieve on a daily basis, do you think? He said, well, I need to go in the gym so many days a week and improve each and every workout in every week. And I need to bring my A game and stay on the plan that you give me. I said, cool. And I said, what about process goals? And he said, well, working week to week and improving and even going above and beyond the plan, I think those are good process goals. So we wrote all of these down and I hung them all up in his room, right next to his bed, so he'd see them every single day. And we talk about those goals while we're warming up before every workout. And then the next mental skill is self-talk. I have another quote for self-talk. So self-talk combines conscious thoughts with unconscious beliefs and biases. It's an effective way for the brain to interpret and process daily experiences. This inner voice is useful when it's positive, talking down fears and bolstering confidence, and that's by Lisa Firestone. So self-talk for him is a way to self-motivate himself, but also to give himself a positive attitude, because he's always had a very negative attitude towards himself. So like I said before, the timeline was 8 weeks. Every week we had 4 training sessions focused on power and explosion. So there was 2 upper body workouts and 2 lower body workouts. One upper body was power, one upper body was strength, and then one lower body was power, and one lower body was strength. An example would that be, for power, we do more explosive type work. I get him on the treadmill and run and do a lot of like HIIT cardio. I work on doing as many, let's say take the bench press or squat, I get him to do as many reps as he could with a lower weight for 30 seconds. And then for powerlifting, I do something like for the bench or squat, like a 5x3 or a 5x5 or 7 sets of 2 that are probably like, that were 80 and 90% of his max. So it wasn't going to failure, but it pushed him and got him stronger. And then we also did 4 interviews, 1 at the beginning, 2 in the middle, and 1 at the end. So the beginning was just the intro interview, just to say, okay, what are your goals? What are you comfortable with? What experience do you have? What are your expectations? So I can kind of gauge from there. And then 2 in the middle, I did weeks 3 and 5 to kind of see how things were going. And I did 1 just on goal setting and 1 just on self-talk. And I also checked up on him. Are you having fun? I always make sure, are you having fun? I didn't want him to hate the training and not play sports anymore. Are you improving? Do you see improvements in the gym, but also mentally and stuff like that? And then 1 at the end to see how things went, how he thought things went, and what I can do to be better. So for the abstract, I have a quote. So I've learned that fear limits you in your vision. It serves as blinders to what may be just a few steps down the road for you. The journey is valuable, but believing your talents, your abilities, and your self-worth can empower you to walk down an even brighter path. Believing yourself can be a determining factor in how successful you are in sports and, more importantly, in life. With that being said, the fear of failure can destroy anyone trying to achieve a goal. By setting proper goals and learning how to self-motivate oneself in order to achieve those goals, anyone in this world can achieve any goal he or she puts their minds to. Michael Jordan once said, "Limits, like fears, are often just an illusion," showing everyone that fear is something in the mind, and in order to accomplish something great, one must look past his or her fears. By playing the game of basketball without fear, Michael Jordan beautifully illustrated to the world what the power of good mental skills can do for you in the world of sports and the world of life, as he has been successful in both. Furthermore, by improving one's mental skills, any athlete can become great. Mental skills are a powerful tool that can be taken any person to the next level in whatever they do. So for the abstract, Caleb thought he couldn't achieve big goals. I learned this from the big meeting, the first meeting, I'm sorry. He thought he couldn't achieve big goals. He thought he didn't believe in himself, and he was very hard on himself. And I think that has something to do with his childhood. But to be honest with you, I didn't get too into that. He always shot down ideas of him doing great with anything, with his job, with his career, with school, and with this. And I wanted to show him that he can do these things. So I set these goals out for him, and I helped him achieve those goals. And I said, hey, stick with it 8 weeks, and by the end of the 8 weeks, you don't do anything, you don't achieve these goals, I'll take you to dinner. I'll take you to Sushi King. He was like, all right, cool. So he wanted the Sushi King, but he didn't get it. And like I said before, I had him write down his goals he had for basketball and football, and used the 8-week program to help him achieve his goals. I used this time to show him that he could achieve these things. And I literally told him if he was more positive, he could get so much more done. He can be so much more successful. But he just had to change his mindset. Also too, he is 20 years old, he's in good shape, and he's 6'4". So meeting 1 was like an intro meeting, and with every meeting I went pen and paper. I'm old school. I had questions written down, and then I asked them and I wrote down his answers. And some example questions for meeting 1, what are your goals? What type of training are you comfortable with? And what schedule works for you? I think those are very important things to know before you start training and coming out with the program. Also too, I wanted to test his awareness to see, does he understand he has those weaknesses? It's like this is kind of a bad comparison. It's like an alcoholic. You have alcoholics who know they're alcoholics, and you have alcoholics who don't know. And the first place is make sure they know they're alcoholics before they can get help. So I wanted to see if he knew, okay, I need to set goals, and I need to be more positive and be able to self-drive myself, self-motivate myself. And he did in fact know he needed to improve in these areas, which was good. And I used this to kind of explain to him what self-talk was, what goal setting was. I literally had these definitions already set out, and I said, hey, this is what it is, and this is what we need to get you to be doing, and what you need to improve on. And also too, I use this to see what we can work together and work on, not only in the gym, like performance-wise, but also mentally. Hey, before every workout, let's get together and let's talk. Let's listen to music. Let's walk in the treadmill, get our minds right. Tell yourself that you can do it. You can be successful. You can do your 7 sets of 2. You can get through this workout. And the second meet, I did it week 3 to check up on goal setting, but also just on him as well and his performance. Also to keep track of all the workouts, I wrote down every single set he did, pen and paper, throughout every single workout so I could see his progress. And then I put it in an Excel spreadsheet to see the fluctuations. And I made graphs week by week to show making sure he was getting stronger. And I always took notes on his mind, how he approached every workout. Up to week 3, the first 2 weeks, him and I, it was kind of a transition time where we were figuring out, okay, what do I need to do to help him? But also to what he was trying to figure out, what does he need to do? Physically in the gym, and what are we really going to be doing in the gym? Even though I explained it to him, he hadn't done all the exercises. He'd never even done a row, which is a very basic back exercise for mass, for strength, and for power. So it took him a little bit to adjust the exercises and get the form down, but once he did, he really started seeing a lot of progress. And for me, it took me about 2 weeks to see how he responded to things. And I found after this interview that YouTube videos really helped him. He was very visual. And even if I said things over and over again, he didn't respond as well if I showed them to him. Through me doing it, but also through video. So this second interview was very helpful as well in that area of training. So I wanted to see how he was feeling about the workouts and how he felt about his progress. He was still struggling with the big picture some. He still didn't understand, okay, well, how am I going to get to this by week 8? Like, I see some progress, but I really don't think I'm going to achieve all these goals. But I did show him the Excel sheet and the graphs to see, okay, I am going up. I said, hey, these first 2 weeks are more about form. Now we can really focus on getting stronger. And I said, hey, you can accomplish big goals. From there, meeting 3 was at week 5, and we talked about self-talk. On week 4, I went to one of his games, and he still got very down on himself. So I talked to him after the game. I said, hey, you can't get down, and you can't respond so negatively to bad referee calls. So I told him, I said, you can't control what the ref does. You literally can't control what he does. All you control is what you do and how you respond to what he says and does. I also wanted to see what he thought of his progression, not only in self-talk, but also in the gym. And he said so far at week 5, he had done a better job of acknowledging, okay, I can set these goals, but sometimes he still got down on himself in games. But in the gym, he was doing better, but it was just now, okay, games. But he was doing better. I said, okay, well, let's keep working on that. Take referee calls better. Take the sacks in football better, right? Be positive and know that you got plenty of game left. Don't get down in the first quarter. I mean, football game, you have 12-minute quarters. 15-minute quarters. If you're down in the first quarter, you still have 45 minutes to play. You have plenty of time to come back and win. So don't worry about that and keep playing hard. And you always play hard until the last second. I think that really helped him as well. And yeah, meeting 4, which is the conclusion interview. I wanted to see if he was happy with his results, which he was. He got all of his goals and then some. So he was really happy. And I wanted to know how he was physically as well, and he said, yeah, I'm feeling good. And I wanted to make sure he was also having fun, because it's huge. And also wanted feedback from myself. I asked him, do you think I did a good job? what do you think I could have done better? What kind of strategies could I have done better to help you? And then like I said before, I wanted to make sure he was enjoying the process. So results. Caleb improved greatly his ability to set proper goals and to self-motivate himself. He went from doing 2 sets in the gym to quitting, to before every workout, putting his headphones on, getting in the zone, encouraging himself, knowing how to warm up, have his mind right, and then encouraging himself throughout the workout and talking to himself to get through hard things like a 7x2, which is it's hard mentally to be able to really squat 7 sets of 2. You know, 80-90% of your max, that takes a lot of mental willpower. Also too, like I said, he had a lot of fun. His performance in the gym and his sports improved. He broke more tackles in football, which was a goal of his, and he grabbed twice as many rebounds. He actually went from 4 rebounds to 9, so over twice. And for Caleb, if I had to give him a grade, I would give him an 8. He improved, but as always, you can always improve. I mean, even Michael Jordan in his prime was nitpicking everything so he can improve even more. And then discussion. I found out through discussion that YouTube videos helped him a lot because he's a visual learner. I started showing him videos a lot, like weekly, to help him perform exercises, but also how professional athletes carry themselves on the court and the field. And he also, interestingly, became a lot better leader in his sports. He not only helped himself, but he became a much more vocal leader, and he calmed other guys down. So he went from being the guy who threw a temper tantrum in a game because of a bad call to helping other guys stay calm and really performing well in clutch situations, which was really cool to see. He also became more mentally tough. And in conclusion, for myself, I would give myself a 7. I give myself a 7 because it took me 2 weeks to really understand how to coach him. And I wish I had done really 3 meetings before even starting. And I think in total I should have did 7 or 8 meetings. I know that's a lot, but Dave Ramsey says before you hire somebody, you interview him 12 times. And Dave Ramsey's worth like $60 million, so I think he's a good person to learn from. And I really should have interviewed him and talked with him more to make sure I could have done everything I could to help him. Not that he didn't progress, but it could have been better. And I should have cracked down a little bit more on his form at the beginning, like workouts 1, 2, and 3. But you know, it took him 2 to 3 weeks to really get the form down. So I should have did that as well. But he still got it down. He had great form. He got a lot stronger in every exercise that he did. And I now know also that I have good knowledge to help me and help others. So this is my presentation. I was able to help Caleb Cole, a guy who became very negative, hard on himself, to someone who's very positive, very hardworking, and understands how to set good performance, process, and outcome goals. He can now not only motivate himself, but others. So I thank you for letting me have this opportunity and pushing me to help someone else. And I hope you have a great day, Professor.